All right, guys, spooky season here. That's clearly what I'm going for here on BCP Plus as we make all things WrestlePalooza. That's fun to say. Come alive here on BCP Plus. We got our predictions panel, and I had to bring in the heavy hitters. I had to bring in the A-plus players. So, guys, please welcome back. You know her from the PopRate.com, the socially distanced podcast, the best Ahsoka cosplay in the galaxy, an A-plus player here on BCP Plus, Miss Amanda Rivas. Amanda, good evening.
Hi,
How are you?
super excited to be here. I'm always happy to chat wrestling with two of my favorite people. This is gonna be a great time, and thank you again for having me. So, and always like for the love of my Ahsoka cosplay, that means so much because I put a lot. It's like 2 hours to body paint. So, thank you
That's
for
fair,
that.
though. Very underrated Star Wars character, all time in my book. And Amanda, thank you for making time. And guys, please welcome back. We acknowledge him, the tribal chief here on BCP Plus, an A-plus player, of course, from the No Gimmicks podcast, DFPN, the one and only We Are Not Worthy, Mr. Kelvin Gately. Kelvin, good evening. You're looking more handsome than ever, my friend.
You know what? I feel great. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you for having me back on. It's been a minute, man. So I'm just excited. We got a good card this weekend. Excited to talk some wrestling with two of my favorite people and you guys.
Oh, you're too kind. It should be a good one. WrestlePalooza, we kind of saw how it came about. Some interesting scheduling. We'll leave it at that. But there's so much to talk about in this card. I did want to start with this one. Let's make sure I got it queued up here. Can you guys see the graphic on the screen here? Of course, yes. We have Stephanie Vicaire versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship that is vacant right now. Very interesting. I don't want to say backstory to this, but I'll say timeline to this. And the guys, I want to know what you think. I'm a bit critical of this one. Obviously, I've been waving the Vicaire flag for some time. I really think she's going to have the jetpack, but I'm a little thrown off here. A lot of this build, and because we talked about on the last show, life happens and it's no one's fault or anything like that, but just in terms of pure storyline and not real life stuff, Naomi had to vacate for the best reasons. They knew a week out. We had to wait a week to find out what was going on. Then the following week, we found out that Stephanie Vicaire's match in any form or fashion was not going to happen at Clash in Paris. We wait another week to find out that she's facing Io, and all of these interactions with her and Io, which is going to be an amazing match. I still think it is, are just these little backstage segments and, hey, here's the contract. And it's just like, it feels, and given the situation they were put in, it feels a little backburny to me. Io, you can't really underestimate. And she's always been a favorite of mine since NXT, but you can't really count her out as we've seen at WrestleMania and SummerSlam and all the great stuff she's been doing. We've underestimated Io, and we don't deserve her. But Stephanie Vicaire, I thought for sure was going to win against Naomi. Given the circumstances now, I think it's a little bit of that out of sight, out of mind. She was on NXT yesterday, but she's got the new shirt. She has the Wrestling is My First Language shirt. She was just on CVV. So it gives me reason to believe that Vicaire will win here. And I still have her as my pick, but I'm just a little worried. It's just this championship has been so far gone off TV, given the circumstances. And I just feel like there could have been a quicker, better resolution. And Vicaire's just been a little bit more out of sight, out of mind. So I'm a bit concerned about this one. Amanda, I know you had some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I have to say the buildup for this match has been just I don't want to say abysmal because that's a very strong word, but I have not cared for it at all. This is a dream match with Io Sky and Stephanie Vicaire. This deserves so much more. We do not deserve this match. I mean, the times that they have encountered each other and have fought each other, I mean, absolutely just chef's kiss for those matches, except for those endings. And it's my concern is we're going to yet another disputed ending, messy ending, because now you have the focus. Let's pull in the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea and kind of mix it all up. They've been having more of the spotlight with Io instead of Stephanie Vicaire. And this is driving me nuts. This is a match that deserves so much better of a build-up. This is a match that, again, it's going to be the match of the night, except for the ending, even though I have Vicaire going over as well, because this is her time. It's either now or never. But just there's so much here that could have been done better. And we can't, yes, things happened. Obviously, we're happy for Naomi, but they've had enough time to figure this out now. So we can't just say, oh, it's unexpected. I mean, they turned around and fixed things with Liv, I think, a little bit quicker when she went out than they're doing here. And they did it better. So I'm like, you guys have been in this position before and have done it better. These two athletes deserve so much better. They're not just entertainers, they are athletes. They deserve so much better than this. They are the two of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And they deserve so much better. So that's my one rant for the night, because this one, I'm like, oh, this deserves so much more. And I know we're going to get a weird ending. They're going to have to put, everyone's pushing Rhea and Io and kind of that whole thing. And I feel like that is taking so much of the spotlight away from what should be an incredibly monumental moment. So this is probably my one match on the card where I'm pretty upset because I wanted so much more. And both of these women deserve so much more, because the match they're going to give us is going to be a show stealer. It's going to be a showstopper. It's going to be incredible, because this is for the championship. This is for all of it. So, they're going to put their hearts out there for this. And so they just deserve so much more, because we don't deserve this match, guys. We don't, because it's so good. But that's my one soapbox rant for the night.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
You hit on every point, Amanda. A++. Really, really great. Even in the chat as well now. Yes, Amanda. There it is right there. What do we got? Nightmares. And I love that name. And Nerdscape's great name.
Yes.
In the chat. Neil in the chat. Welcome in. What do you got here? I love Stephanie and Io. I want Stephanie to win, but I feel like Io is going to win, and they're going to run back Rhea and Io in Perth, and Rhea will beat. Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Stephanie. Kelvin, we didn't leave a lot of meat on the bone for you. I apologize for that, but I'm really interested.
It's all good.
On your take.
I almost want to copy and paste from Amanda, but with a caveat. I think the reason this build hasn't been as good as it should be is because they don't have faith in the language skills of either woman. And you could build so much more there. And even with the vignettes, like, you could have told a way better story with the vignettes on both women. And it does feel like they are pushing Rhea.
Oh, we'll go with it.
I mean, it is Rhea.
We'll go with it. It's
Rhea. Call it Rhea on the internet, I think.
They are pushing this story between two women and the eventual turn from Asuka and Damage. Is it Damage Control? Is that who they
Kabuki
are? The Kabuki Warriors? It just seems like they're pushing that story more than what it is with Stephanie and Io. So for me, I'm going to say Io's going to win this match, just because there's more on the other side, it looks like, for Io. And I agree with Neil's point. You do have, like, that whole Perth thing is coming. Like, that's going to be in the background, and it's kind of set up. You don't want to set Stephanie up to win this match and then go to Perth and lose, because that's what it feels like is going to happen. But I agree, this is going to be the match of the night. Anytime you have two women of this magnitude, the women this year, let me just say, the women this year have killed it. Every company, every level, they have owned 2025. Every wrestling match, they've gone out there, they've busted their rear ends, and they put on the best matches this year. That is not a question. So I believe this one is going to be just another notch on the belt. The women are going to go out there, they're going to do what they've done all year and steal the show. But
wow.
I agree. This should have been a way better build.
Just acknowledging, because that is right there with you.
Really, man, you guys like covered everything. I'm so proud of having you guys on here. Like, you guys are top notch in my book. That's all I got to say. Front Row Mafia in the chat. We had this match, and it was match of the year. Yeah, it was really one of my favorites. I think there were some schmodge finishes that Amanda alluded to. It was the night after Mania, right? The best match they can put on given the circumstances. But yes, the build could have been stronger. JVD, shout out JVD, one of the great fans out in the Front Row Mafia. We also want to send our love to Cleary and his family in Front Row Mafia. And also saying, side note, yeah, Vicious called out Moff, man. Yeah, I have a lot of feelings about that, man. It is. I get the whole, challenge Mr. Miyagi student teacher thing, but I have a lot of personal feelings. Oh boy. And Matt Witt is on the mend. All the love, bro. Hope you're doing well. I knew we were getting some fun comments tonight. When Rio dances, they show you all they can. Yes. Let's keep the comments coming, guys. Share the stream. Let us know who you got. Best year of women's wrestling ever. Hands down. I agree. And a copy and a paste for Amanda. We always get the Amanda signs in the chat. And Heather, welcome. Exactly. Rhea can win, says Neil, in Perth, and the WWE can run Rhea and Stephanie. Stephanie also did mention wanting to fight Asuka in that CVV interview. So that's another way they could go with that. But you guys have covered everything on this. Where are we going to go next on this one? Let's go to this match. Lots to talk about. The return of AJ Lee. She's going to light it up along with her husband, CM Punk, versus Rollins and Becky Lynch. And I think I'm gonna eat some crow and do a little 180 here. I did this on the radio show on Sunday, but real quick, I know I've been very critical of Becky Lynch. I know we've been such a pro Becky show for years and years and years since our inception. I was very critical of this heel 101 character she's been playing against Lyra and Bayley. But man, when AJ came back and she started lighting up CM Punk, man, no pun intended. When Becky Lynch was lighting up CM Punk with paintbrushing his face and all that, like. She really, the character isn't just like a 101 heel to like give Lyra the paintbrush. It really was, it fits now. It makes more sense now. I really like this. And she was being silly with the crowd on Raw, but like in a silly bad guy way. I completely am doing a 180 here. Now I get the character. Now it makes sense. Now it fits. And it's not just because she's with Seth. It's because everything just kind of came together and makes sense. I think looking back, the Monday morning or Tuesday morning, as it were, quarterbacking of it all is she was in a holding pattern. That's why she's fighting Lyra, because we were waiting to get to Chicago until AJ Lee came back. We were waiting for her to join the Vision. So she was in a holding pattern. That's what I think. And I could be completely off base here, but things felt a little drawn out. I think we sensed it. I'm really liking this Becky Lynch character now. This heel, it makes way more sense to me. AJ Lee's back here versus CM Punk and Seth Rollins. The promo on Raw was interesting and fun. I think they were having a lot of fun with it. They were having fun with the crowd. There's something silly about, there's like some silliness in here, but I think I'm here for it. It may take away from the story just a little bit, and I'm nitpicking, but it is highly entertaining. It's been really fun. I think you got to give it to AJ Lee and Punk here just for the title circumstances and ramifications after that. Kelvin, what do you think about this and who you got winning in this mixed tag team match?
First and foremost, I want to say thank you, Heather. But the return of AJ Lee. AJ Lee is one of the most, if not the most important figure to where women's wrestling is right now. Because she was the one, everybody likes to go to Paige and what she did to kick off the Divas Women's Revolution. I think it's AJ Lee. So to have her back and to have her in a storyline of this magnitude is just huge. And to have her one of the biggest stars of the Women's Revolution, or where women's wrestling is, in Becky Lynch, I think it's a very, very smart move, especially if you're going to have her back in the spotlight and have her back in the company. It's a very great first splash, and it allows for a lot of stories to be told, like, who is AJ Lee? And I think they're really doing a great job of painting that picture. Like, this is who she is. This is what she's done. This is why she's in this match. Like, they've covered the who, what, when, where, and why with her. And they've done a very, very good job of doing that. That being said, Becky Lynch, I got to give her flowers too. I think Becky Lynch has done she's done something that I didn't think was possible. She's made the Vision make sense to me. And she's made it entertaining to me. Because for a while, I did not know where this group was going. But you throw in her, and now there's a little bit more direction for that group. And by the way, you have a returning AJ Lee, and you have a storyline attached to that. And then there's just more places you can go with that. You can feud the two ladies, and the Vision makes more sense. You can feud Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and the vision makes more sense, and it could lead to more opportunities for everybody. So I do think them having this match, it's kind of a make or break for the vision, because they have to look good in this match. I do think you need AJ Lee and CM Punk to win this match, because it's AJ Lee. She's back. If she loses, it won't be that big of a deal. But I think you take it to another level if they win this match. So I'm gonna go CM Punk, AJ Lee winning. But I am going to venture to say that this is not the last of either of these people. So they're doing a great job with this, by the way, starting off.
Very well said, Kelvin. And here they come in the chat immediately when Kelvin stops talking. Man, I love it, man. Good stuff. And how proud are we of Kelvin? Says Heather. I've been seeing some of your posts, and you're strong, and you got this, man. And I've been seeing some of your stuff, man. I don't want to share all your personal stuff, man, but it looks like you're on a little bit of a journey, bro. And you're killing it, man. You look good as ever, man. So
appreciate it. I appreciate
killing it, man. Neil in the chat saying, Rollins and Seth win. Punk and AJ chase for the rematch. They have a 3-match series. Oh, wow. This is in depth. And Punk and AJ win 2 of those 3 matches.
I'm not mad at that.
Singles titles matches. All right. The fans win here. And real quick, Matt in the chat, the Andy Smart, Moth may be the recipient of a trademark Rob strongly worded email. That's actually my finishing move. So, I'll write a very strongly worded email and then hide. Yes. Amanda, what do you have on this mixed tag match?
So obviously, like everybody else, I was excited for AJ coming back. Just hearing her music, seeing that she's in fantastic shape. I think she's even honestly in better shape than she was when she retired. Like quads for days, legs. She looks great. You go, AJ, you go. What I really like about this is I feel like they are having fun, because this could be a situation where they could go really deep and cut into each other if they wanted to, knowing the real life, kind of beef with Seth Rollins and CM Punk that everyone always alludes to and brings up. They could have gone that direction. I'm actually glad that they've kept it not going so heavy. I think everybody here is having fun, and I think it was very smart to pair AJ back with CM Punk, just coming in off the bat, because again, it's been 10 years, and she's what I really love too is that she's been very open about her mental health journey, and I think when you're coming back in and there's already an immense amount of pressure because people have you on and rightly so. Again, I agree with Kelvin. To me, she is the one who originated the women's revolution, and I think she was ahead of her time. So I'm super excited she's back here now with the caliber of women's division that we have, because depending on her schedule, the opportunities are limitless where she can go. And I can't even imagine if she tangles with somebody like Asuka or Io, or again, who knows where she's going to go, right? I mean, the possibilities are limitless. But very smart, because again, you come in, there's an immense amount of pressure, and working with your husband and working in a situation where you're comfortable in and can ease back in, very smart. And I think very considerate. So I love the way that this is going. AJ, again, it's like she never left. Her promos are so good. I think that she's bringing out this new side of Becky that I like heel Becky, and I like her even more now because she's really leaning into it, especially with Seth. I think that they really work well off of each other. So great dynamic. I feel like, my only thing about this is Calvin brings up, of course, the vision. We really haven't had much of the vision, the rest of the vision interact or kind of interfering or making a presence, even if Paul Heyman showed up, because it feels like there's 2 very different storylines right now. And that Seth Rollins is on a side quest with Becky Lynch. They are side questing right now and kind of doing their own thing, which is fine. And again, great on her own. But if you're part of a faction and you're kind of wanting to keep this feud going, you need to kind of bring in some of that. Again, if you don't want, Braun running in there, that's totally fine. Bring in Paul Heyman. Let him kind of cause some shenanigans. And that's what I'm hoping for, is that, you have this faction use them to get a dirty If you want this feud to continue, even though I think Punk and AJ will win, just because I don't think they'll hand AJ a loss right off the bat. But if they're smart and you want to keep this going, give them the dirty. I'm okay if Becky and Seth win this, because if they win it dirty, they can keep going. And give Punk, give AJ a reason. Throw Paul Heyman in there. Make it a real emotional mess, because, hey, wasn't Paul Heyman at one point CM Punk's best friend? Why not add him in that mix and have him mess around with AJ too? Why not? And that way, at least the faction is still involved somehow. You still find a reason to keep the story going, because I really do think that at some point we are going to see AJ get a title shot at Becky's championship. They've been teasing that like crazy. Will it happen right now? No, but we can build to that. We've got plenty of meat on this bone, but if you want to make that meat go longer and give them a reason to keep this feud going, go ahead. Give me more of the rest of the vision. Give me Paul Heyman. That's what I really, really hope for, is if we're going to keep this going, that would be the smart way to go about it. But I think too, people are going to want the feel good moment. And I think maybe Punk and AJ will still prevail. But I really think keep it going with Seth and Becky, though. That would be smart. But I think, again, my pick's still going to be AJ and Punk.
Wow. And here come the Amanda chants. Right on cue. Amanda with the win. Great stuff. And we got to have that Braun shout out. You know, we love to say Braun. Now, we called them Team Braun. Now they're the Vision. Amanda, a couple great points. You got my wheels turning. So I'm like, oh, should I change my pick? I'm going to stick with my pick. I can't change my pick. But I will say, you got me thinking, because I'm just like, yeah, you know, AJ's back, CM Punk, going to have the baby faces win and defeat. I'm just like, ooh, a lot of things you're saying are making a lot of sense. The Paul Heyman of it all. When the Vision hasn't really been together, like you said, like the only thing that I saw, and Paul Heyman wasn't there, but when they do the opening shots, when they come in, they had the four of them, the Brons and Seth and Becky walking in. I'm like, okay, she is officially like part of it. But that's a great point. Outside of that, when them walking in with their luggage,
and
I haven't seen nothing.
Seth hasn't interfered in their matches either. You know, with the Usos, like it's very, you know, yeah, we're a group, we walk in together. But when they get to the ring, everyone's doing their own side quests right now.
You're right. You're so right. I will say this, though.
It all goes back to Becky, because you never suspected that Becky would show up. And as long as the group isn't showing up, you don't expect them to show up. And that's why I think they will.
Oh, man.
That's why they're interesting to me.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very, very interesting. Real quick in the chat, Patrick, welcome. Good evening. Thanks for chiming in. Punk and AJ is his pick. Very, very interesting. We'll see what happens going forward. But now, Amanda, you got me thinking on that. Also, I will say this. We were talking about potential title implications after that. When AJ came out with the, the women's IC championship, that looked like it was made for her.
Natural.
Like, I don't know if it was like the color scheme, like
natural.
Or the fit. Like,
she was very comfortable, very like right at home with that title.
Right? Was that just me? I was just like, does like her action figure come with that belt? Like, it looked. Maybe it was just me. I'm just like, oh, she's gonna win this championship. But really good stuff, guys. Oh my gosh, you guys are. I'm like, I'm not on your level yet. Let's see what we can do here. Let's go with this. We got this tag team matchup. Hey, look, it's Team Braun taking on the reuniting Usos. This has been, for lack of a better word, interesting. This is where I kind of use this word wrestling acting. I don't think anyone's getting an Emmy here, no disrespect, but like some of the segments with the Usos have been, particularly last week on Raw, like they're trying to dig into the emotion. They're a little rambly. The directions they're going, much like me, the directions they're going, to kind of tease, like, I don't want to say Jay's going heel and go like that far in, but like Jay doing not babyface stuff is interesting. Jimmy being like, hey, don't talk to me this way. Hey, I'm going to team with this guy. Like, hey, I don't answer you. You're acting like Roman. They're going somewhere with this. I don't have a read, no pun intended. I don't have a read on this, but, but does the Vision win here because of all the craziness going on with the Usos? I feel all the bloodline, we've seen it more on SmackDown lately. the bloodline's coming back together. Like something's happening. I said it before, and now they're kind of coming together on Raw. I don't know what's happening with Roman because they took him out, so I don't know what's happening come Survivor Series. But something's coming together. I do not think they're going to turn Jay heel. I could see it, but I think this is a distraction because I think it was Amanda who said it last time. I think the heel turn is LA Knight. Amanda, what do you got on this?
I agree. I think this is something to give the division something to do. Roman, I have not looked at like what his schedule is because I think right now he's out shooting his piece of Street Fighter, if I'm not mistaken. That's why Cody is back. So Roman is out shooting his, and again, don't really know how involved it is. I don't know if he'll be back in time for Survivor Series. Who knows? So I think this is something to give the Vision a reason, like Kelvin said, to just kind of not, like kind of not be immediately around Seth. I mean, that's a good point that you bring up here. So I mean, they're side questing at the moment to kind of keep them away from, because easily again they could all reunite and start ganging up on CM Punk and AJ Lee, right? I mean, there's a lot that could, so there is probably a reason for them to not necessarily be helping out Seth at this point. So Calvin, I think you're onto something there. So I think though that this is a way for Jay to get into a feud with LA Knight, because LA Knight has been very vocal, as we all know, about, the Jimmy, you cost me. Jay, you cost me my opportunities. And he even said it in his promo. I'm not here. I tried playing nice and it didn't work out for me. Again, the spear happened. Jay took that spear, not LA Knight. So I think LA Knight's going to come in there well-intentioned, trying to help the Usos, help Jay in particular. But I think he's going to cost them because the Vision needs this win. They really, really do. And I think that the Vision will get this win. This is the moment. Again, they've gone up against Roman the last couple of times. Roman has to be protected, right? As much as I love my tribal chief, but they're going to be selective with Roman and who gets the pins. Here, you have a way to do that. You have a way to cost the Usos this match, make the Vision look good, especially as Seth and Becky continue to climb. Now that you've added her onto the Vision, some momentum has to happen and has to continue. So I think LA Knight gives the way, if you will, for Jay. I think Jay's going to take the pin here, not Jimmy. It's going to be Jay, and it's going to be because LA Knight did something. Launches them into a feud, and I can definitely see LA Knight again. I don't know if he's going to go full heel yet, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So they're going to work that here, and then I think LA Knight will turn eventually before Jay.
Wow.
If Jay does.
After that, I'm putting my official answer. The Usos are going to lose here for all those reasons. Danny Smark in the chat, who, let's be real, is a big LA Knight guy. This is not lost on me. Yeah. Must win, all caps, for Team Braun. And I love this comment from Heather. She acknowledges the tribal chief just like Amanda at all times, saying 100% protect Roman. And then Nightmares and Nerdscapes over on YouTube saying the Brauns again need to win this. Kelvin, what do you got on this one, bro?
Copy paste, bro. I think the Brauns need to win this. My only deviation.
Okay.
I think Jay is gonna turn.
Ooh, okay.
I think if you look at the history, everything's come to pass that Roman said except one thing. Roman told Jay, he was like, once you get the title, you'll understand what I mean. You'll understand why I am the way I am. Jay has had that title, and he needs it again. Jay was also the man that was picked by Roman to be the eventual tribal chief, but Jay himself, along with his brother Jimmy, picked the younger brother as the tribal chief. Jay is still in the line. All those things have come to pass except Jay being the tribal chief. And I think now he's making up his mind to become that.
Do you think, though, that he's going to go heel when Roman comes back, or do you think he's going to go heel before
I
Roman
think
gets
he's going to
back?
go heel before because it sets
Okay.
up him and Roman.
Okay.
And the only way you can be a tribal chief is to beat the tribal chief.
True.
Wow. Oh my gosh, man. It makes sense too. And let me say this, even though I don't have Jay, just in terms of like the business and the money of it all, but like not yet, I don't have Jay turning heel anytime soon. But I'm not, if he does, I'm not against it because it makes sense. Like there's a story, it's organic, it makes sense. He's always been the hothead in the group, you know, with the
Yes.
bloodline. He was always kind of a little bit of the hothead. So that makes a lot of sense. Now all the Kelvin signs are coming out. I tell every time he talks, we acknowledge him. Kelvin with the lore drop. I like it. Heather in the chat saying, yes, Kelvin, copy and paste. And then in the chat, heel yeet. I like that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then Heather, I think with the Roman. Yes, that's right. There's only one forever. That's the next
I got you,
t-shirt.
Heather.
Forever travel.
I got you.
Oh, by the way,
Yes, sir.
notice Jay isn't wearing the yeet glasses anymore either.
This is true. This is true.
Shame on me for not noticing that because I love little things.
I
like
wondered.
that.
I wondered about that too, actually. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Kelvin.
no,
You're
it
going to
wasn't
say
just
heel
me.
yeet.
I noticed.
The heel yeet glasses are coming. Let's go with this one. Interesting build again, given the schedule, I think, of Cody. Cody is back now. He's not cutting promos in front of a bunch of belts. Little interaction with Drew McIntyre here. I don't want to suck the fun out of this one. I just feel like you felt, and he is the champion, which makes it that much harder. And Cody is on to, I don't want to say bigger and better things, but getting new opportunities. I'm excited for him, man. The way he waves the flag for this company and the way he is with the kids. I think he met with a kid who was battling leukemia on SmackDown or before the taping on Friday because Maven had posted a video about it. So shout out Cody for all he does. And then this is where I'm totally storyline critical of everything. But this one's lacking for me just due to Cody's absence, much like when Cody was feuding, who was with Cena at the time, when Cena had the absence, he was cutting the promos in front of the belts like that. So this feels a little bit like that. I think this is an easy one. I think this is an opponent for Cody to be back and Cody to win. Simple as that. Amanda, what do you got on this one?
This is one that I've gone a little bit back and forth on. Because one I don't. This one, yes, it hurts a little from the lack of build, but it makes sense though because Drew was the one who took him out in the first place. So I mean, why not just come in and get your revenge? So easy, short, sweet. And my understanding is his part in Street Fighter is done filming. So I think unless Cody gets another big moment or has to take a step away to go promote, which I think I'm sure he can, go to the premieres and do all that kind of stuff, do talk show stuff. I mean, for the movie, his part in filming is done. So I don't see him going anywhere. But I mean, the caliber of this match, though, I think you can, even though, yes, it's kind of lazy, you can still get away with kind of just him sliding in there because it makes sense. If it had been somebody else who took him out in quotations, then I think this would have been a lot harder of a build to go with. But again, there's history here with these two already. You have the Randy Orton of it all here too. So, so I'm not terribly upset with the build. At least it makes sense for Cody to go after the person who took him out. At least there's that. Yeah. And they're still going to put on a banger of a match. These two have made the most of coming from, I think I read something earlier where it was like, here were these two guys that were mid-carders, and now they're like main event tier status. And these two are going to this is going to be a nice, bloody, brutal, kind of beat down a little bit because we know Drew can, rough everybody up. Like Drew can come in and wrestle cleanly, but he can also go in with the brutality. And Cody, we know, can take it. And so I think really, and Drew just came in and said, he wants Cody's ass. So here we are. I think he's going to get it. That just killed me there. But, I think this is going to be a really brutal match. Definitely better than the build for sure. I went back and forth on this one because I'm like, Cody's had this title. He hasn't really done a whole lot. But I still think that Cody is going to win. This is just gut reaction in the end. I feel like at some point, again, Randy is kind of just circling around a little bit, and I feel like there's a reason that's why that's happening. And I think, as much as I hate to say it, Drew is kind of a stepping stone to get to Randy. So I think that is going to happen at some point, because again, Randy's there with Cody. They're friends. They're here. You keep bringing that up. So I think that, again, Cody is well on his way to an encounter with Randy, and whether Kelvin's heel turn comes true or not, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen this match.
I've given up hope.
I don't know though. I mean, maybe it'll happen with Randy. Who knows? But yeah, I don't. I keep hoping for you, Kelvin. I keep hoping for you, but I think with at least this build, this very, very quick turnaround build, at least connected. So, but I think we're going to have a good match, and I think Cody is going to have his hand raised at the end, and maybe I think Randy's going to turn heel and RKO him, and there we go.
And like we always say, Randy can turn heel at any single point. It'll make total sense, because that's right. He could just RKO someone, be a heel, doesn't got to say nothing. Like,
well,
that's
and
Randy.
He can always say, "I was just planning to get close to you."
Yeah,
I would just you thought I was your friend here. I got to look out for myself.
Sounds like most of my most relationships I've been in. So let's go on in the chat saying Rob's not wrong. The Andy Smart saying the top prize in the company. It seems like it's playing third fiddle on this C list. Dang, PLE. Could we have a different title match, tag IC, instead of make a splash here instead? I think this is about getting, and I'll give Cody a pass here because everything he's doing and waving that flag here. I get what you're saying, Matt, but I think it's trying to get like Cody back. They're trying to push Cody back into everything.
Well, and this is the first PLE on ESPN. I mean, again, it's not a coincidence that AJ is back for this particular PLE. It is not a coincidence that John Cena is on the card for this PLE, and Cody Rhodes, your champion, who is supposed to be representing in your brand, is the face of your company, is here to for this particular PLE. Could they have waited to have him return? Yes, they could have. But ESPN, you got to get people to go to ESPN.
That's right. The real question here, though, is what happens to Guile in this movie that this guy's done filming already? I'm putting that out there. What happens to poor Guile? Sonic Boom. All right. Let's see what we got here. Cena versus Lesnar. We knew it was going to happen. I just remember these two back in the day. I want to say it was like a SummerSlam. It was just one match that I always remember because Brock literally beat the you-know-what out of Cena. It didn't feel like a wrestling match. Like, I go still early in my fandom, and just seeing that match, like he brutalized Cena, and I think they're in some form or fashion safely going to revisit that. I think this could honestly go either way here. I think he keeps Cena strong here after coming off a big loss to Cody Rhodes in one of his best matches ever, but losing the title there. I think he keeps Cena strong here. I think the putting over is going to be, and I still think it's going to be Dom or someone of that caliber. I think he's going to go out on his back, in December, whatever it is. I think we're going to build him up until that point before he starts putting people over. So I'm going to have Cena win here. The build for this was exactly, once Brock came back, this build could not have been more what I thought it would be. I didn't think Brock was going to cut a promo on the mic. He had the fun spot with R-Truth. It was exactly what I thought. He's just going to jump Cena. Minimal talking, no disrespect, minimal talking on a microphone without Heyman. The fun little thing with R-Truth, who's killing it as always. I can't say enough good things about Truth. Check out our interview with R-Truth over on bcpa-plus.com. Shameless promo. Cena wins here. Amanda, what do you got on this?
Yeah, this one has been an interesting build. I think very intelligently handled in a way, because of, again, kind of the elephant in the room with Brock Lesnar and all of the controversy around him. I will just be careful and say that. I think they're very smart to still try to, again, have him show up on Cena's final SmackDown. Great. But at the same time, trying to carefully walk that line. But again, it's not too out of character for Brock either, because he really, for the last couple of years, has really not shown up very much either. Again, they've used him kind of sparingly whenever they can fly him in. Clearly his genes did not survive the airplane trip over, because that was a moment. So this match, though, I'm a little worried about, because we've seen Cena's formula over the last, again, I mean, he took a few more bumps here in the last couple of matches he's had, a few more. He's done some things where I'm like, okay, I didn't think he was going to take some of the stuff he took. But he also still is being very careful. And the last few times, again, he didn't have those kind of restrictions, if you will, with his last matches with Brock. Now he has to be careful. So, and Brock really doesn't do a whole lot of match content either in his last few matches. So I mean, it's a lot of F5s, a lot of, kind of the usual. So both of them right now are kind of in the mode of, let's do my same moves over and over again in the match. So I don't know how good the match quality is going to be, because I don't know how much Cena is going to be able to take. Could he take like 6 F5s? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, this is kind of this one, I don't know how the match quality is going to be. But I guess I could kind of see Cena taking a whooping, surprisingly. I mean, again, he's taken a few more things, but he's winding down. I'm sure his contracts, he'll figure out something to be able to do some more stuff. But this is probably the match caliber I'm a little bit more worried about for the night. But I still think Cena's going to go over. What he's going to do is do his thing where he gets just the snot kicked out of him. Brock looks like a beast, but yet Cena's going to prevail in the end, and people should go home happy, because I don't see Brock Lesnar right now going over. If he goes over John Cena, I don't think that's going to look good for WWE.
You're right. And I love your takes, Amanda, because you have so much, you have that, I always say this for me, like you have that I date a wrestler, so I know, like, take, but at the same time, you respect it too. I always feel like that's something we can bring to the table. And I really appreciate your takes. That's a great deep dive. I do feel that Cena has been smart, but in the safest way possible, he's leaving it all in the ring. I really think he's gonna, like you said, he's doing things that I didn't think he'd do. He's having matches, because when he's doing the heel thing, it was very, low blow, hit him with the belt, whatever. Now he's having really meaningful long matches. But I think you hit it on the head there, man. I think they're going to be a little bit more careful and planned out here than the last couple times we've seen them. Kelvin, anything to add on this one, man?
I'm gonna kind of go left field on this one, and it's because we are on ESPN. It's the first PLE on ESPN. These are two well-known names. Like Amanda said, it's no mistake that they are on this card. Brock Lesnar being on this card and this card being on ESPN is no mistake. Brock Lesnar brings a great bit of legitimacy to the WWE because of his UFC run, and him being that athlete, him being up against someone the caliber of John Cena. I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be the main event, because it's something that people can talk about. It's something that sports fans everywhere can identify with, especially with Brock Lesnar. And to kind of usher in that era on the ESPN app, because you want those eyes, I can see them saying, we need someone like a Brock Lesnar who we've seen do legitimate sports combat. We need him to win this match, because it's going to bring legitimacy to the WWE. Do I like it? Absolutely not. But I can see them doing that, just to say, hey, look, we have a legitimate athlete performing in the ring on ESPN. Tune in to see him. You guys know who Brock Lesnar is. Tune in to see his match. He's going to win. I do think they kind of lean into, and which I'm going to give Cena credit if this happens. They're probably going to lean into what they did in the squash match between him and Cena. And they'll probably go that route, with Cena getting more offense in than he did in that match, just to make it more competitive. It's on ESPN. You have a lot of eyes on it. I can see it being that type of match, and Brock Lesnar goes over. But I could be wrong on this because Cena is a well-respected wrestler in the world, and them being on ESPN, that's the only reason I would say I could see them going with Brock Lesnar in this match. I can totally see that, just to say it's legitimate. And if he loses, you may have questions on that end because ESPN, and I'm gonna go to the Coach situation. They did not like Coach because he came from the WWE. Point blank, period. But I could see them saying Brock Lesnar lost to this guy if they don't really know who John Cena is, which that's a mistake. You should know who John Cena is. But I could see them saying Brock Lesnar lost to this guy, and Brock Lesnar wasn't incredible. He was a UFC champion. He shouldn't be losing on ESPN. So I could see them going that route, but I hope they don't.
Good take, Kelvin. And in the chat room, Nightmares and Nerdscape said Kelvin beat me to it. Brock can bring in a UFC crowd that already has ESPN Plus. So interesting take there. I was going to say, and that's a very fair take. Someone else is already, agreeing with you there, Kelvin. Dan Lehman, I see in the chat. Check him out, helping out with the Demolition podcast. Matt brings up the point that I was thinking here. If Cena loses, then do you have to run it back? I'm hoping not, because he would have five dates after that. I don't want to see another Brock match. You bring up a great point. The other thing was Cena's doing all the ESPN commercials too. I forgot about that factor. Like, I think he says like, "This is Coach" or something. Like, he doesn't even say John Cena. I forget what he says at the beginning, but I'm like, oh, is this like a commercial character or something like that? But he's doing all the ESPN commercials now too. So there's a business to it, Kelvin, and you're right about that. And saying yes, Kelvin, thanks for the left turn, man. Kelvin always makes it interesting. I love it. Amanda, did I cut you off? I did.
No,
you gonna say, okay.
No, I don't. I was trying to think of I feel like I was trying to think of something else because Kelvin just blew my mind here because that is a good point about the business sense. But I think Matt mentioned it with the whole, I think if Cena were staying here longer,
right,
this can make sense. But that is true. It's how do you do this if you're going to have Brock go over? How do you do this without painting Cena into a corner?
Correct.
And I could see them running it back. I just don't want to see it, but I could see it happening. There's so many ways you can go. You know what? I thought this was going to be an easy predictions panel, but like the more we talk about everything and the vision and the possible heel turns, this could be one where we're way off base or I'm way off base, and this should be really fun. I think they are going to make it special. There's going to be some sort of surprise or some big ending like Kelvin was alluding to. Well, we don't have a big surprise ending for you today, but I will say this, guys. The reason we do not have a fourth panelist today is because tomorrow, the tribal Keith, Big Ben Bishop's good friend, will be weighing in with his picks on John Cena and Brock Lesnar. So I'll be posting that video tomorrow. So throwing up for the tribal Keith, who rules the, the IWC. So very excited for that one. And make sure you follow our good friend, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, on socials. He's doing great stuff. Just had a tryout.
What he's doing now is hilarious.
Oh, he's hilarious, especially if you're an indie worker, and it's very tongue in cheek, which I really appreciate. But little shameless promo for our friend Big Ben. Support him and all the great characters and things he does and see him at shows. But let's talk about our good friend Miss Amanda Rivas. I know she does a lot of the popbreak.com. Amanda, shameless promo. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I am the co-host of our flagship podcast on the Pop Break, which is socially distanced, with our BCP Plus Hall of Famer Bill Botkin and wonderful friend. Every Thursday, we drop new episodes covering different pop culture topics. In fact, our episode that's getting ready to release this week is actually going to be on kind of a little bit of a different topic. We're going to touch on, of course, the success of K-pop Demon Hunters and Demon Slayer. So it is a little bit of an anime takeover episode. You're welcome, everybody. But also kind of just looking at how anime has moved into the mainstream. So we have a really good discussion with our TV editor of the Pop Break, Abani Goswami. So check that out. That's going to be dropping this week. And of course, our new episode of Anime Pop, which is the monthly anime podcast that I co-host with my friend Josh Sarnecki. We actually have our new episode out now, and that is on, of course, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1. So if you're interested, of course, in kind of a deep dive into the movie, we have that out this month. And then, of course, Josh wrote a fantastic review of the movie as well that you can read on the Pop Break. So, of course, check us out, Pop Break, on all social media platforms, except I believe it's thepopbreak.com on YouTube. So check us out. And of course, also we are celebrating our 16-year anniversary. So I would be remiss if I did not mention that in order to celebrate our anniversary, we are giving to or trying. We have a fundraiser going for St. Jude's Children's Hospital for Pediatric Cancer. So people feel inclined to donate. That would be wonderful. If not, please share. That would be great, so we can help meet our goal. So yeah, so follow us over at the Pop Break. And thanks for having me, guys. It's always a blast.
Thank you, Amanda. Calvin, tell them about the No Gimmicks podcast.
Well, No Gimmicks, we are gearing up for some great stuff. We are actually gearing up now. We're starting now in November 7th through the 9th. We'll be at Cape Convention or Cape Con in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. So we'll be doing our first convention run there, along with the DFPN. So if you guys want to follow us, thedfpn.com. We have a bunch of great podcasts on there. We just launched a new podcast, The Confessions of a Failed Family Man. It is a very, very great mental health podcast by my good friend MRKSX. Please go check it out. It's something, even if you're not going through what he's going through, it's worth listening to because the solutions that he's giving is amazing. So very good series. But the entire DFPN, thedfpn.com, please come check us out. We do work with the Pop Break and BCP Plus. So please come check us out.
You the man, Calvin. Great panel tonight, guys. And like we always say here on BCP Plus, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Conor McCollum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Conor's cure, with over $150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the PCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Are you looking to press play on Feeling Good Again? Well, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, our premier sponsor here on BCP Plus, Delaware County's Retro Recovery Rebels. They're here to rewind time and reboot the way you heal. From therapeutic massage and assisted stretch therapy to glow-up facials and energy work, this is where function meets feel good. Perfect for athletes, overachievers, and everyday Joes and Janes who need real relief with a vintage twist. Not to mention pro wrestlers. Reboot your body, recharge your soul. Rock the retro vibe. Call or text 484-574-8868 or visit twistedshamrockstudiospa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN Podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome back our returning sponsor from the left side. Get hit from the left side with all the wrestling and sports news you can handle. Thank you from the left side for sponsoring the BCP. Please welcome back our returning sponsor, independent superstars of pro wrestling ISPW, ahead of their Wild West Wrestling Showdown. That's going to be Friday, September 19th at Wild West City in Byram Township, New Jersey, starting at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be Leo Sparrow challenging Justin Carino for the ISPW Heavyweight Championship. Evil Chica Team